Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome all WSPD and other sworn personnel as they enter the room. Good morning. I'm Ed McNeil, Marketing and Communications Director for the City of Winston-Salem. It's my pleasure to welcome each of you to the Benton as we gather to celebrate the graduation of Basic Law Enforcement Training Class 71. Please rise as the recruits of the Winston-Salem Police Department's 71st Academy enter the room with the WSPD training staff. Please remain standing as the WSPD's Honor Guard presents our national colors, as well as the singing of the national anthem by Police Officer Florette Gregory Phillips. It is the protocol of the Winston-Salem Police Department that sworn law enforcement officers salute if they are wearing hats, and non-sworn place their right hand over their heart at the order to present arms, and we would be honored if you would join us accordingly.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Over the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Ready, seat.
I'll now call forward Winston-Salem Police Chaplain Dr. Nathan Scovens for our invocation.
Let us bow for a moment of prayer. Gracious God, our Father, we thank you for another day, a day that we have never seen before, and a gift given to all mankind. We are grateful for these men and women who have come to serve and to sacrifice and to support the city of Winston-Salem. We appreciate you, and we ask thy protection upon them. We pray for their families, and we pray, God, that they will serve faithfully. We thank you for giving them a servant's heart, and we thank you for all that you've done for them, what you will do through them, and how they will make a great impact on the citizens of Winston-Salem. We ask blessings upon this ceremony. We pray, God, even for our nation as we heal, and many of them at one point or another may be called on to serve. And so, God, we are grateful for all things. These blessings we ask in your name, we pray. Let all declare together, amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Scovens. On February 13, 2017, the Winston-Salem Police Academy convened, and the men and women we will recognize today began a quest to become Winston-Salem police officers. The coming weeks were filled with challenges, difficulties, and great accomplishments, all culminating today with the 14 individuals seated before you who have fulfilled that journey and now begin a new pursuit, one of public service and self-sacrifice. The city of Winston-Salem is guided by a council made up of 8 members and headed by Mayor Alan Joines. Mayor Joines is serving in his 5th term, and not only is he the longest serving mayor in our city's history, but he is also the only member formerly of staff to serve to the city's highest office. Please welcome Mayor Alan Joines.
Good morning, everyone. To my colleagues on the City Council, you'll hear from Mayor Pro Tem Burke and from our Chairman of the Public Safety Committee, Councilmember Taylor. I want to recognize my colleague, Councilmember Denise Adams from the North Ward, Councilmember Jeff McIntosh from the Northwest Ward, and Councilmember John Larson from the South Ward. You know, as mayor, you have your good days and bad days, and this is one of those good days when we get to recognize and thank these 14 individuals who have stepped up and have agreed to help protect our citizens. There are 242,000 of us here in Winston-Salem. We're a relatively good-sized community, and so a lot of activity, a lot of need. And so the providing of public safety services is probably the highest calling that a city government can do for its citizens, keeping our citizens safe. And we know that these individuals who have made this decision probably wasn't an easy one, but you did it. I want to congratulate you and thank you, and I want to also congratulate the members of the family and friends that are here today, because I know that you helped get them where they're at today, and you're going to need to be with them going forward as they move forward. Winston-Salem is a growing, vibrant city. We have issues, certainly, but a lot of good things going for us here. Then tying together the community with our public safety functions, both police and fire, make us a wonderful place to live, work, and as Councilmember Taylor says, relax. So we're delighted to be here this morning. On behalf of all of our citizens, I offer my sincere congratulations and thank you for agreeing to serve the citizens of Winston-Salem. Thank you. Oh, I also wanted to acknowledge our new police chief, Katrina Thompson, and congratulate her. Look forward to working with her. And of course, to just recognize our retiring police chief. I always call him Chief Roundtree, and he's going to be the keynote speaker today, but to thank him publicly once again for the wonderful service he gave. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Pro Tem, Council Member of the Northeast Ward, Vivian H. Burke, has served on our City Council since 1977. She is the longest-serving member in our city's history, as well as the longest-serving Chairman of Public Safety Committee with 36 years in that post. Please welcome Mayor Pro Tem and Council Member of the Northeast Ward, Vivian H. Burke.
Thank you. I always say, now top that one. It is such a wonderful time in our great city of Winston-Salem, state of North Carolina, the American country, USA. As I look at you, I congratulate you. I think about your parents and your loved ones, and I want us to look around this great place where we're sitting. We say it is the Benton. And if you're from Winston-Salem, you spent, or we did, city manager, check me if it's not right, $20 million to make this place nice. So we are going to invite you after this great day to come back with your families and tour the downtown where our mayor and council people, and being the mayor, the leadership in bringing opportunities, and being council people voting for these opportunities that he works to manage. And to our city manager, where is Mr. Lee Garrity? Let them know you're here and your staff. He is the city manager for this city, and we pray about every morning together. And usually it's about the Winston-Salem Police Department. I know we have a chairman, Mr. Taylor. We appreciate all you're doing. To the city manager and his staff, we appreciate all you're doing. To the outgoing chief of police, Roundtree, I know you've had a big task. And going out into the world at 52, you can start all over again. And when I think about the new chief coming in, your task is a big one. Because when we look at, and I appreciate every last one of you up here, I want you to know that. But when we look at the graduating classes that we have, as the mayor has said, all of our departments are important. One of our most important departments, the people who respond to keep us safe each and every day. And I will say that it should mirror this city. So, Chief, you have a challenge. When we look, we need to see how, as we worked hard for diversity in this city, and we need to show that we are a diverse city through our Winston-Salem Police Department and other departments. I say, America, America, my country tis of thee. The city of Winston-Salem, where I love and appreciate, and as Mr. McNeil said, I've probably given more hours than anyone, even though Mr. Jones worked for the city. And he and I can tell you a story about public safety, the police department, the fire department, emergency management that no one else can tell, because we have been through the good days and the bad days. And we have worked hard to make this city a shining example for humane progress, so that people will say, I want to come to Winston-Salem. I want to live in Winston-Salem. And as the incoming chief said, she is compassionate, and she know that's mine. I love this city. I'm compassionate. I love it with every bit of me in my heart. That means I love the people in this city. You're just like family. So to you who are coming in, and to you who have been serving me, I'm so pleased and happy. Every day I can go to bed and feel good because you're taking care of us. Every day when I walk in this city, I'm not afraid, because the blue suit men and women who are dedicated to their jobs take care of us. And may God, and Pastor, I don't want to take yours, but may God continue to bless all of us. And this is a wonderful day in our city. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. The city manager oversees the day-to-day operation and delivery of services for more than 2,400 employees. He often notes that as one team working across disciplines, but with our customer in mind, we can always rise to whatever challenges us. Please welcome our city manager, Mr. Lee Garrity.
Good morning. I wanted to welcome all the family members and guests that are here today. Law enforcement, unlike I think any other department in city, or more than any other department in city government, is a very close-knit family. I'll often say, I wish I could get a membership in that family, but I've not done what they've done, so I don't have that membership. I don't deserve that membership. But it is a membership, a family that supports each other. When they go out on the street, you're at home. You're waiting for them to come back. Our goal is that they come back safely. We want to make sure that happens. But they couldn't do it. They couldn't even have gotten through the last 22 weeks of training if it wasn't for all of you. Your support, your guidance, your love. And they're going to continue to need that in their profession. And I want to thank all of you for doing that. It's very important. I also want to thank our mayor and city council, Mayor Jones, Mayor Pro Tem Burke, and the members of the city council. In my career, I know I've never seen as big a financial commitment to law enforcement as this council and the citizens who support this council and support bonds have made for law enforcement. You know, we're almost done opening about $25 million worth of facilities for law enforcement. We're also have invested more in salaries and equipment for law enforcement in the last 3 years than I think we've done in the previous maybe many more years. So a huge commitment by our mayor and council and by the citizens because they realize how important law enforcement is. It's the primary function of city government. Everybody wants to be able to be safe and secure, and they love what it says on the side of those cars, to protect and serve. And so that's the goal. That's what we're here to do. And I want to welcome all of you and thank you for your commitment to being in this family for 30 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Garrity. Councilmember James Taylor Jr. is in his third term as council member of the Southeast Ward, a 2003 graduate of the Criminal Justice Program at North Carolina Central University in Durham. He is also serving as the chairman of our Public Safety Committee. Please welcome council member of the Southeast Ward, James Taylor Jr.
Good morning. I bring you greetings on behalf of the Public Safety Committee for the City of Winston-Salem. As has been previously stated, I have the honor and the privilege of introducing our Speaker of the Hour. Before I do that, I always like to take a moment and thank our recruit class 71. I thank you for your commitment, your dedication to serving and protecting the people of this city. I thank you for hearing and answering the call to service, and what you're doing is extremely courageous. It's extremely brave. And on behalf of the Public Safety Committee, the citizens of the Southeast Ward, and even the City Council, we thank you for what you're doing for our city. To the family, to the friends, if you would please join me in giving Recruit Class 71 a thunderous round of applause. And I could feel every bit of that applause. I hope you could too. To our Speaker of the Hour. On January the 25th, 1998, our keynote speaker joined the Winston-Salem Police Department and set off on a journey that would see him rise through the ranks. Senior police officer in 1992, sergeant in 1996, lieutenant in 2000, captain in 2004, assistant chief in 2007, and chief of police in 2013. For the last 4 years, we called him chief, but today we get to call him Mr. Please welcome retired chief of police, Mr. Barry Roundtree.
Thank you so much. Good morning to Class 71, and good morning to the family members who are in attendance today. Thank you to all our elected officials, the mayor, Mayor Pro Tem Burke, and all the other elected officials here today. It's very important for you being here, supporting Class 71 and all officers and public safety. It is an honor for me to have been asked to speak this morning on such a special and monumental occasion. This is a great day for the city of Winston-Salem and the Winston-Salem Police Department. Today is not about me. Today is a day when we want to celebrate 14 new police officers entering into the WSPD family. And I also, again, would like to congratulate Chief Thompson for her appointment as police chief. But before I get started, I do want to ask Class 71, I want to ask all officers present and anyone who works in public safety to stand, whether you're sworn or non-sworn, fire department, EMS, to stand up. As a citizen of this great city, keep standing. As a citizen of this great city, I do want to thank you for all that you do. I don't think that we can say it enough. Thank you for being the guardians, the protectors. Thank you for running into dangerous situations when others are running away. Thank you for getting up and leaving your families in emergency situations, natural disasters, inclement weather, when everyone else is at home, even other city departments. Thank you for being the professionals that you are. So again, thank you, and thank you for doing what you do every day. You may be seated. I was told I had about 30 minutes, Captain Perry? No, about 5 minutes. I did meet with Class 71 on yesterday. To Class 71, today is about you. So as you begin your journey as a police officer, begin with no regrets. Of course, we met yesterday, we had lunch, we talked for about 2 hours. So this morning, I just have a few parting words to say to you and your families. And to the families, it is important that you support these new police officers as they start their careers in law enforcement.
To Class 71, although you may have not had the opportunity or the time to fully digest it, but you are part of an elite group, having been given the opportunity to serve as a law enforcement officer, especially as a Winston-Salem police officer. Law enforcement work is more than a job for most of us that's done it for a while and been in the profession. Daily in any city in America, police officers are doing things that the average citizen wouldn't believe, remarkable things, performing vital services to ensure our communities are safe. And I also would be remiss, sadly to say, that we have a very small percentage of law enforcement that do things to paint a bad picture on the entire law enforcement profession. Actually, I saw one of those things, regrettably, last night on the news. Law enforcement is struggling nationally to fill open positions. But you, Class 71, you have answered the call. Individuals are not willing, not qualified, don't have the desired traits or attributes to be a law enforcement officer. We all know some of the reasons why. Negative police publicity, viral police videos, anti-government movements, cop blockers, cop watchers, sovereign citizen, police ambushes, and strained police and community relationships. There's an expectation, you as a police officer, you're expected to be Superman, a constitutional and governmental scholar, a marriage counselor, a babysitter, all wrapped into one body. But it's almost impossible for you to do that. But it's not all doom and gloom like I told you yesterday, not here in Winston-Salem. So don't go out with a us versus them mentality. You have a lot of support here in Winston-Salem, and I think the amount of people that are in this room is evident of that. Nationally, there's a lot of support for law enforcement. So don't leave here believing that everyone is against law enforcement. Go out every day with the mindset to make today better than yesterday. And know that you do and you can make a difference. There are a lot of people relying on you to perform your jobs. There are men, women, boys, and girls, the defenseless, counting on you to be there to answer that call. Can you imagine a city or a county without police officers? I mean, just imagine that. Many scholars believe that life as we know it would not exist. Our government structures will crumble. Our societal values and morals will further erode. In other words, it would be total chaos. So what you do every day is important. What you do every day is necessary, and people are counting on you to do that. So as you start your careers, it's not gonna be easy every day. You know, if it was easy, this stage would be full. Anybody could do it. We perform best in stressful situations. Some days you will feel like giving up. Some days you'll question if what I'm doing is really worth it. And often you will be judged by your uniforms that you wear, not for the person who you are or the content of your character. So your job is not going to be easy every day just because of who you are and who you represent. You are the most visible form of government here in Winston-Salem. You represent city, state, and many times our national government. You're gonna run into some haters, some naysayers along the way, but you have to stay the course. You have to understand now you are policing in a time when law enforcement is challenged daily by some individuals looking for a negative encounter. They're looking for police to overreact. You'll be dealing with a population that's been educated on constitutional law and police procedures on social media and other various social media platforms. I know that we're now living in I always say, a microwave society. We all want everything instantly. We don't want to wait. But as a police officer, I've never seen a microwave police officer in 30 years. And it takes time. You have to study, you have to stay sharp in your profession, and you have to take advantage of all training opportunities to advance your career and to make our community safe. You have to be involved in the community. You have to understand that many are called, but only a few, just like you, are chosen. So I know it's not going to be easy. As I tell every class, you know, think back on why you decided to be a police officer. I mean, if you think back on why you decided to be a police officer, when you leave this room, these bright lights, and you report to your squads next week, think back to really why you want to be a police officer. There's going to be a lot of change. I can't promise you, or Chief Thompson can't promise you a lot of things that's going to happen or can happen along the way. But you have to be committed to what you started, and you also have to stay sharp and use all the training that you have been given. Today's policing is about community engagement. It's about partnerships and community service. A lot of what you've already done and some of the things that you've already done while you were in class. So I'm not saying don't do your jobs. Nothing that I'm saying is saying don't do your job, like I told you yesterday. Our primary role, or your primary role, is to provide the police services for the citizens of Winston-Salem and to protect life and property. So as a police officer, keep in mind that your decisions will have long-lasting effects on the entire profession. If one of us look bad, all of us can look bad. So I hope you have long and successful careers where you're able to cast a long shadow and leave a lasting imprint on your law enforcement career. You told me in the ACs yesterday that you were ready to assume your new positions. You have received the best basic law enforcement training that's available in the United States. So I know you're ready. With all that's been said, be committed to what you've started, be safe. May God shine a light on you and your families and the Winston-Salem Police Department. Thank you so very much.
On behalf of everybody here, the city, police department, your service, speaking for us today. No noise. Okay. On behalf of the city, police department, for your service and speaking to us today. Good luck in the civilian world, and thank you for all your service.
Thank you, Chief Roundtree. Now, please allow me to take a moment to introduce the full-time training staff. These individuals are dedicated and committed to the success of the organization through the development and education of its personnel. This staff works tirelessly on numerous projects and programs while providing unwavering support to the recruits and veteran officers. On many days, the training staff arrives before dawn to begin the physical training and often work late into the evening. They are a team of professionals who devote all of their efforts into molding these individuals into a team and part of Winston-Salem's finest. Please stand when your name is called. Assistant Chief Scott Bricker, Captain David Perry, Lieutenant Catherine Patterson, Sergeant Gregory Dorn, Sergeant Wynn Matthews, Corporal Samuel Langdon, Corporal Thomas Day, Corporal Brian Ashley, Corporal Mark Bollinger, Senior Office Assistant Ms. Jean Johnson. Please join me in giving these individuals a well-deserved round of applause. If you are a member of the recruiting division, please stand. Not everyone, I'll give you a moment to applaud them. Well, go ahead. All right. Not everyone who wants to become a police officer is accepted into the academy. The men and women you see standing are members of the recruiting team who reviewed 361 applications to seat the group that included Class 71. The recruiting staff for BLET Class 71 included the following: Sergeant Ronique Reedus, Corporal Marcus Cox, Officer Rodney Hutchins, Officer Jimmy Falk, Officer Jared Barnes, retirees Robert Boyd, Lyman Clark, Debbie Wilkins, Paul O'Neill, Al Vance, Vince Stevens, and David Lamb. Please join me in giving them another well-deserved round of applause. I'll ask now that all instructors that assisted in the academy providing instruction and field training officers to please rise. There are 100 state-certified instructors in the department and Forsyth Tech who contributed to the training of our cadets. These are but a small sampling of that instructor pool that provided more than 1,000 hours of instruction. Their dedication and hard work is a testament to their professionalism. Among these standing are representatives of the Post-Academy Training Program. They are field training officers. The WSPD's Post-Academy Training Program involves the assignment of an entry-level officer to a field training officer, an FTO, who serves as a guide and a model for the inexperienced officer. The FTO undertakes a dual role, patrol officer as well as trainer. As a trainer, the FTO must build upon the primary education that the entry-level officer has received. The FTO is the primary force that molds the new officer into a professional, productive member of the WSPD. Please join me in thanking the Academy instructors and our field training officers. Now, as is customary at Academy graduation, one recruit will deliver the graduation speech on behalf of Class 71. The recruits from Class 71 voted to have their classmate represent them by delivering this speech. The recruit presenting that is recruit Joshua Floyd.
Good morning. Mayor Joines, City Manager, Mayor Pro Tem, Chief Thompson, Mr. Roundtree, retired Chief of Police, command staff, training staff, fellow officers of Winston-Salem PD, fellow law enforcement personnel, family and friends, Class 71, and to those of you who just may have wandered in off the street today wondering what all the commotion is all about. Thank you for all your time, your energy, and your help in supporting Class 71. Why are we here? Why did we choose this profession? I could spend plenty of time today on the dangers and pitfalls of a career in law enforcement that we may encounter. I choose today to spend time to speak of the opportunity that we have in light of the darkness and difficulties that officers face. What will we choose in this life? We can choose to live for self or others, or we can choose to live for things. Today, I would like to talk to you about three topics: our sergeant in our class, our reasons for our choice, and the opportunity that lies ahead. Each BLET class is led by a sergeant. Our Class 71 was fortunately led by Sergeant Dorn. There is a certain trepidation, as there should be when you meet your sergeant for the first time. That position holds great authority over you as a recruit. When he says jump, you ask how high. But our sergeant is much more than that to us. We hold great respect for the man as well as the badge. In a world where authenticity is rarely seen, much less lived, we got to observe it up close and personal these 29 weeks together. I say with no equivocation that I was blessed with a wonderful home and a father growing up. Not all have had such fortunate circumstances. We as a class have come to see our sergeant as a father figure to us, teaching us how to never quit, to stay in the fight, and reminding us that right is right. May not be easy, but it is always right. Sergeant Dorn is an Army vet and wanted to instill a certain 7 values into our class that are core to the military. Many days we've looked up to our sergeant and those values to make it through the various challenges that lay in our path. Loyalty. Loyalty is being supportive of leadership and their fellow officer. Recruits Greenberg, Golich, Egan, Zimmerman, and Fox. Count these men as dear friends, loyal to their fellow recruits and men that I can count on. Duty. Duty is fulfilling the mission, going beyond the minimum to accomplish tasks. Recruit Gallagher. I think about how she took on many class projects and community projects and gave creativity and ideas when many of us didn't even know where to start. Recruit Ferris. She shared over 180 pages of typed notes in order to prep us for a state exam, over 36 academic tests that we took in the course of our training. Respect. Respect is treating people as they should be treated. Treat all with dignity and expecting the same from others. Recruit Kresner. Generally respectful and kind to others. If you met his father, you will have the exact same impression. You'll see that apple did not fall far from the tree. Recruit Brown. Recruit Brown lost his grandfather during the training, and that loss took him very hard, and I saw the love and respect that he had for his grandfather. Selfless. Simply putting others before yourself. Recruit Coppola. I don't even know where to begin with the guy. From day one, he was always that way. Very first day I show up to rookie school, my locks didn't fit the locker. I was freaking out. All my stuff was gonna be thrown out and whatnot, and I was gonna be forced to do punishment for it. He was right there, ready to help. And that continued every day throughout the academy. Recruit Radford, someone who has already served in child protective services and now is choosing police work. That alone says it all about her selflessness. Honor. Honor is carrying out, acting, and living all 7 of these values. Sergeant Dorn, Chief White, Corporal Langdon, Corporal Day. These men taught us how to carry ourselves and to act with honor. Integrity, both legal and moral. Recruit Williams. Recruit Williams is the exact same guy that I met in the application process, and a true man of integrity. Ben, I'm gonna brag on you for a minute. Absolute PT stud, squared away, as we say. There's even a workout named after him. My brother, we spent a lot of time running these streets together. He's a spirit example, and he kept me always working. Every time I looked to him, saw him holding strong, I was like, I can do that too. But I got a story about him when it came to this speech. You see, as they said, we took a vote in class. And when we did, the first vote came back tied. And I said, okay, well, me and Penn had the same number. Penn, you go ahead. You know, I voted for you. And I thought about it. I turned around, did you vote for me? He gave me a little chuckle, and I said, let's vote again. Courage. Face adversity headlong. To the 5 new recruits that made it, you're a true example of courage. It is hard to be in a place where you don't know anyone else. It's hard not to be right next to the water, as all you are from Long Island. It's difficult not knowing where anything is, and in many other situations to be on your own for truly the first time. You may have noticed that I left someone out. That was intentional. I find myself, in a word, blessed. Blessed to be among such fine young people. Blessed to be in an exceptional department. Blessed to have such caring, passionate, and experienced instructors. The best perspective in life is to remind yourself how blessed you are and to be grateful. Sometimes it can be a personal struggle to complain about minor hardships in my path. I realized then that to spend time pondering the plights of those less fortunate before I give in to those easily complaints helps my perspective. I love our class. As we started on our journey, we made many mistakes, which led to questions. The 2 questions that we heard the most: who has military experience? No one. And who's the oldest? Really got old, though. Of course, it's difficult to argue when there's those of us who show up to work without our bulletproof vests, or think we can get away with a poorly written paper and get rewarded with 1,278 push-ups to be completed in 5 days, or those who shoot through the wood barricade at the firearms range, but still manage to hit the target, or like a certain old guy who allows his subject under arrest to simply pull their hands through the cuffs. Or perhaps those 2 separate incidents where our car keys were locked inside our own cars, or that one time that keys were flushed down the toilet, or when we just simply left them in San Francisco. I can't explain it, we just hate keys. But let me tell you about the heart of the class. Numbers that we followed daily through most of the academy that unfortunately kept growing. 86 officers have perished in the line of duty in the past year, according to Officer Down Memorial Page, with one of the most recent being Sergeant Perez in Houston, Texas, due to the flooding from Hurricane Harvey. Before lunch daily, we did a workout around that number to realize the real dangers of the profession that we chose. Now, after many hours, I think someone said over 1,000 hours of training, we are ready now, and we have received the skills necessary to protect this city. Today, as we make our way across this stage, I'd like to share a few words of admonishment to Class 71 and to myself foremost. We have a responsibility to the citizens to join our brothers and sisters in blue, to realize this burden and trust placed on our shoulders. This responsibility will help us understand humanity and what purpose we serve. Among the millennial generation, the biggest issue we have to wrestle with is the need for instant gratification. Be prepared for the struggle in front of us as we advance in our careers. Be prepared to be something unusual, unique to our generation. Be prepared to acknowledge that your vulnerabilities allow you to improve. We are defined by our responses to what we encounter, not our experiences alone. Be prepared to protect and serve the citizens of Winston-Salem. As the psalmist wrote, defend the poor and the fatherless, do justice to the afflicted and needy, deliver the poor and needy, rid them out of the hand of the wicked. This is who we are now. This is who we are called to be. As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, what lies behind us and what lies before us are small matters compared to what lies within us. Today, we feel pride, we feel excitement, joy even that we are graduating. We need to recognize that these feelings will cease, and we need to be ready to deal with the feelings of fear and trepidation that may come our way in the days ahead. But may we handle them like soldiers, embodying the values that Sergeant Dorn tried to instill in us. As G.K. Chesterton wrote, a soldier fights not because he hates what is in front of him, but because he loves what is behind him. Many in this room may remember the legendary radio voice Paul Harvey. Mr. Harvey's radio program was heard nationally for over 50 years. The following was written by Mr. Harvey. Policeman. A policeman is a composite of what all men are, a mingling of a saint and sinner, dust and deity. But what that really means is that they are exceptional. They are unusual. They are not commonplace. Buried under the froth is the fact. And the fact is, less than 0.5% of policemen misfit the uniform. And that is better average than you find among the clergymen. What is a policeman? He of all men is at once most needed and most wanted. A strangely nameless feature who is served to his face and pig or worse to his back. He must be such a diplomat that he can settle differences between individuals so that each will think he won. But if a policeman is neat, he is conceited. If he's careless, he's a bum. If he's pleasant, he's a flirt. If he's not, he's a grouch. He must make instant decisions, which would require months for a lawyer. But if he hurries, he's careless. If he's deliberate, he's lazy. He must be first to an accident, infallible with a diagnosis. He must be able to start breathing, stop bleeding, tie splints, and above all, be sure the victim goes home without a limp. The police officer must know every gun, draw on the run, and hit where it doesn't hurt. He must be able to whip two men twice his size and half his age without damaging his uniform and without being brutal. If you hit him, he's a coward. If he hits you, he's a bully. The policeman from a single human hair must be able to describe the crime, the weapon, the criminal, and tell you where the criminal is hiding. But if he catches the criminal, he's lucky. If he doesn't, he's a dunce. He runs files and writes reports until his eyes ache to put a case against some felon who will get dealed out by a shameless Seamus. The policeman must be a minister, a social worker, a diplomat, a tough guy, and a gentleman. And of course, he'll have to be a genius, for he will have to feed a family on a police officer's salary. Paul Harvey wrote this piece in 1970. It still holds true today. Some may be wondering why Mr. Harvey would take such an interest in police work. Well, you see, Mr. Harvey's father was a police officer who was tragically shot and killed when Paul was just 3 years old. And now you know the rest of the story. What will we choose in this life? We can choose to live for self or others. We can choose to stand up to the ever-encroaching evil in this world, or we can choose to do nothing to stop its progress. We know that the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Today, I stand with my 13 brothers and sisters, ready to protect and serve the citizens of Winston-Salem. Let me make a pitch of recruitment to those here today, unsure of the direction of their lives. and may be looking for an opportunity. You can be part of a great department, receive excellent and extensive training second to none, have purpose and meaning, find discipline and family all in one place. It is easy to stand on the sidelines and say what you would do. It takes courage and temerity to stand in the gap and be a part of the solution instead of the problem, or simply excoriating the problems our society faces. In the words of Chief Brown in the wake of the senseless killings of 5 police officers in 2016 in Dallas, Texas, get out of the picket line and grab an application. We're hiring. What are your dreams? What are your aspirations? What will you do with the opportunity that life has afforded you? Thank you.
Thank you, Recruit Floyd. Traditionally, the Winston-Salem Police Department presents special awards during graduation to members of each class who have distinguished themselves during the academy training. Today, we honor 3 members of Class 71 with the following awards: the Vivian H. Burke Character Award, the Honor Graduate Award, and our highest award, the Lieutenant Aaron G. Tice Jr. Colleague Award. We'll begin with the Vivian H. Burke Character Award. Please welcome to the stage our city manager, Mr. Lee Garrity.
I have the distinguished honor of presenting this award. You know, the dictionary defines character as those attributes and ethical traits that distinguish a person. In essence, character is what you do, especially when no one is looking. The Vivian H. Burke Character Award is named for Mayor Pro Tem Vivian H. Burke, who served as chair of the Public Safety Committee for the City of Winston-Salem for 36 years. This award is given to the recruit in each police and fire training class who best exemplifies those traits and qualities of integrity, ethical behavior, team building, and the strength of character. Today, I'm honored to present the Vivian H. Burke Character Award for Class 71 to recruit Satara Radford.
Congratulations. The Honor Graduate Award will be presented by Assistant Chief Wilson Weaver and Beth Hutchins, the widow of Sergeant Mickey Hutchins, who was killed in the line of duty on October 12, 2009.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on this wonderful occasion. Entrance level training for basic law enforcement training class 71 police trainees consisted of 1,000+ hours of law enforcement training in 36 different subjects that require a written exam and in some subjects, a practical application exam. The Honor Graduate Award is presented each year to that trainee who has the highest academic grade point average. The overall class academic grade point average was 95.26 out of 100 points. Class 71's honor graduate completed the training with a 96.81 grade point average. The Honor Graduate Award for Basic Law Enforcement Training Class 71 goes to recruit Cameron Gullidge.
My husband was very proud to serve the city of Winston-Salem and the Winston-Salem Police Department for 28 and a half years. When he went through BLET, he was the honor grad. So we have decided that the amount of work going into becoming the honor grad needs to be recognized a little bit more. It's hard when you have a family, when you're working, when you have other things going on. People tend to forget how hard it is to get these types of grades. And the fact that the overall class average is over 95 is just incredible. I thank them all for their hard work. But Cameron, when you're the chief of police and I come to visit you, and you can ask the two chiefs of police here, I do come and visit. I want to see this sitting on your shelf. We think it deserves a little bit more recognition.
Thank you, Ms. Hutchins. Thank you, Chief. Now for the highest award an Academy member here can receive. This award is one in which each officer present here today is familiar with and cherishes as a symbol and a reminder of the great price members of this profession might be asked to pay for the privilege of serving in law enforcement. Assistant Chief Scott Bricker will now present the Lieutenant Aaron G. Tice Colleague Award.
Good morning. It's my privilege to present the Lieutenant Aaron Jerome Tice Jr. Colleague Award. If you were to take a survey asking a community to identify those qualities it desires in its police officer, the list would likely include words such as honest, hardworking, competent, and professional, just to name a few. If you were to survey a police department asking officers to identify those qualities they desire in a coworker, you would likely see the same words I've already mentioned. Additionally, you would also see phrases such as courageous, strong, trustworthy, and dependable. A few weeks before each recruit class graduation, all members of the class are asked to vote for one of their peers who they best believe demonstrates those qualities that we recognize within the best men and women our profession has to offer. Class 71 has chosen that representative from within their ranks. The Lieutenant Aaron Jerome Tice Jr. Colleague Award for BLET Class 71 is presented to recruit Cole Penn.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here on such a great and exciting day. We're extremely proud of Class 71. They've worked extremely hard. Before we get to the presentation, I just want to share a quick message with the class and remind them of the conversations that we had over lunch yesterday. You know our obligations to our community, and you also know the expectations that we have of you. We know that you will not let us down. We're very proud of you. I just want to share something with you briefly that I came to know as an undergraduate in college, and it has helped me through those tough times. There will be tough times, but it has also reminded me of why we do what we do and the determination that you've demonstrated over the last 28 or 29 weeks. And it says simply, if you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it. if all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it, and lose all your fear of the opposition for it, and if you go after that thing that you want with all your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, neither cold poverty nor famine or gulf, sickness or pain or body or brain can keep you away from that thing that you want. If dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, with the help of God, you will get it. Go for it. That's right. Thank you. As we get started, most of you are aware that retired Chief Roundtree hired this class and was here throughout the very end with this class. And with that, I'm going to ask Chief Roundtree to join me during the presentation, please. Sergeant Dorn. As the duly appointed Basic Law Enforcement Training Coordinator for the Winston-Salem Police Department, do you personally certify that the students of Class 71 of the Winston-Salem Police Academy have met all school requirements and regulations and have successfully completed all courses and activities that comprise the police basic law enforcement training?
Yes, ma'am.
Sergeant Dorn, having provided assurance that the members of Class 71 of the Winston-Salem Police Academy have met all requirements which entitle them to receive a certificate signifying successful completion of the Winston-Salem Police Department's prescribed training program, please present these students for graduation, the receipt of their certificates, and the badges of their office.
Yes, ma'am. Class 71. On your feet.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is tradition with academy graduation that as I call the name of each recruit, that they shall come forward and receive their certificate and be congratulated by the dignitaries in the front row. Additionally, as part of our ceremony, each member of Class 71 has selected someone to share in the honor of presenting him or her with the badge of their office and pinning it upon them for the first time. The badge of honor this badge of honor serves as a symbol of public faith. It is accepted as an acknowledgement of public trust and obligates those who wear it to extremely high standards of personal and professional conduct, well beyond the expectations of the citizens you serve. Class 71, you are fully aware that not everyone can earn this badge. Be proud of your accomplishments and never tarnish the image of the badge you are about to receive. We'd like for those friends and family members who have been selected to pin the badge onto your loved one to please move to the front right-hand side of the room and wait for your officer at the photo wall. They'll be there in just a moment. In keeping with dignity of the ceremony, I ask that you hold your applause until after all graduates have recited the oath of office. Okay. All right. Colin C. Brown. Domenico W. Coppola. Dylan J. Egan. Allison P. Ferris. Joshua W. Floyd. Travis B. Fox. Shantae M. Gallagher. Come around. Justin B. Greenberg. Cameron B. Gullidge. Michael H. Kressner. Cole I. Penn.
Swing. There you go.
Satara G. Radford. Joshua T. Williams. Jason P. Zimmerman. I'll now call forward District Court Judge Carrie Vickery to administer the oath of office.
Good morning. I'm so pleased to be here. Thank you, Sergeant Dorn, for asking me to come this morning. This is really a true pleasure of being a judge, is administering oaths. And I think one of the reasons because everyone here is happy, whereas when I go to the courthouse in a few hours, that's not going to be the case. I want to tell you on behalf of myself and behalf of the other judges here in Forsyth County that we truly appreciate all of the work that you all have done. And even when the objections are sustained, which means you will hush, and even when we find the people you've arrested not guilty, we still really do appreciate all that you have done. And so with that being said, if you all get your Bibles, place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right. And if you'll go down the line individually and state your name first.
Joshua Floyd, Travis Fox,
Shante Gallagher,
Justin Greenberg, Cameron Gullish, Michael Pressner, Cole Penn,
Sakara Ratford,
J.T. Williams, Jason Zimmerman.
And I'll administer the oath, and then at the end, if you'll join me by saying, "So help me God." You do solemnly swear that you will be alert and vigilant to enforce the criminal laws of this state, that you will not be influenced in any matter on account of personal bias or prejudice, that you will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that you will faithfully and impartially discharge and execute the duties of your office as a law enforcement officer according to the best of your skills, ability, and judgment, so help you God. And if you'll please affirm your oath by saying that part, so help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Class 71, you are officially members of an elite group of highly trained police officers, and you are held by both the public and the government to the highest standards of conduct. Those standards, known as the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics, is printed on the 8th page of today's program. I invite the audience to follow along as these new officers join all sworn law enforcement personnel here today in reciting this oath. We'll be led by Assistant Chief W.S. Weaver.
Would all North Carolina certified law enforcement officers please stand? Recite the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics with me, please. As a law enforcement officer, my fundamental duty is to serve mankind, to safeguard lives and property, to protect the innocent against deception, the weak against oppression or intimidation, and the peaceful against violence or disorder, and to respect the constitutional rights of all men to liberty, equality, and justice. I will keep my private life unsullied as an example to all, maintain courageous calm in the face of danger, scorn, or ridicule, develop self-restraint, and be constantly mindful of the welfare of others. Honest in thought and deed in both my personal and official life, I will be exemplary in obeying the laws of the land and the regulations of my department. Whatever I see or hear of a confidential nature or that is confided to me in my official capacity will be kept ever secret unless revelation is necessary in the performance of my duty. I will never act officiously or permit personal feelings, prejudices, animosities, or friendships to influence my decisions, with no compromise for crime and with relentless prosecution of criminals. I will enforce the law courteously and appropriately, without fear or favor, malice or ill will, never employing unnecessary force or violence, and never accepting gratuities. I recognize the badge of my office as a symbol of faith, and I accept it as a public trust to be held so long as I am true to the ethics of the police service. I will constantly strive to achieve these objectives and ideals, dedicating myself before God to my chosen profession, law enforcement. Class 71, congratulations. Welcome to Field Services Bureau. Welcome to Patrol Division.
Thank you. Please be seated. We ask that you remain seated while the graduates on stage and our dignitaries down front, as well as veteran officers of the police department, exit the room. Thank you for coming. Please join the recruits and the staff as they settle up here for photos in the next few minutes. We thank you all for coming. Sergeant Dorn, please dismiss your class.